Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. In this video, I'm going to be talking about one of those issues. I haven't had the black and white cup out in a while. Some of you know what the black and white cup represents. Some of you don't. For those of you who do not, this is where I'm going to be talking about a black and white issue. Issues in black and white, because you can't get around it in today's society. Black and white issues and topics continue to come up on a daily basis. And although you have people who try to pretend like all is well and that nothing is out of the ordinary, or that things are fair all across the board, you have people who pretend those things, but deep down inside, they know that there are issues, not just here in America, but around the world. Issues in black and white are always at the forefront, always. So don't be fooled by those who try to pretend like, oh, I didn't know things that were not fair and balanced. Oh, you know. There was an issue in particular that just came to mind, and I wanted to kind of expound on it because you have those who think that all of us are just S0TTISH. S0TTISH means stupid. You have them who think, or those that think that we're all just S0TTISH and that they can do whatever they want and that they're not going to get any type of response from us. And so when they run across those who are not S0TTISH and stupid, they're either going to respect you or they're going to have this look of dismay like, how dare you not kowtow to me? Many of them have an expectancy that all of us are going to kowtow to them and feel honored to even be in their presence or having a conversation with them. There are actually people, who feel honored to be in their presence or feel honored to have them speak to them. But anyway, the particular situation I wanted to talk about was a wooded area that we have, where there's just wood, the trees, and different branches and things that are on the ground. You know how it is in a wooded area. You have some timber that's on the ground. You have trees that are just there and nobody's really doing anything with them. You can hunt in there. You can forage in there. You can do whatever you want, or you can just let it sit, right? It's yours. And so we were asked, it was asked or put to us almost like they were doing us a favor, you know. They said, if you want, I can clear some of those trees out for you. And then as the conversation went on, it was kind of like, there's some good old hickory in there. I could really use some good old hickory. And so we were like, no, you don't need to clear no trees for us. We're going to keep our trees. Thank you very much. But really what they were after is the hickory for their own use, right? The hickory for their own use. But it was presented to us as if it was a favor to help us clear some trees out. Let me come and help you out, neighbor. I'll clear some of those trees out for you. But really you want the lumber. Now, if we had said, sure, please cut some of the trees down, and when you're done, just stack them up right over there. Then we'll be like, well, no, I really didn't want to. Yes, of course you didn't want to do that. You want the hickory. That's what you want. Now, it's unfortunate, but I know of situations where some of our people own land and they do allow them to come and clear lumber for them. It's presented to them like it's a favor. And because some of our people just don't know any better, because they might be a little S0TTISH. It is what it is, family. They're not offering you any money for it. They're telling you that they'll do it for free, as if this is a service that you would pay for. Of course, it is a service you would pay for if you wanted to clear the land. But when they come to you and offer to do it, of course, there shouldn't be any charge. But they are clearing the land because they want the lumber, because they think we are all sottish. But when you have someone such as my husband and myself, and we say, well, no, we're going to keep our hickory, we're going to keep our trees, then it probably confuses them a little bit. Now, we are very easy to get along with, very kind people, but we're no longer nice, because nice means stupid. When you look up the etymology of the word nice, the original meaning, or the original meaning was stupid. And so we're no longer nice. At one time we were. I must admit we were. I talked about before how at our previous home, we had a big giant pecan tree. And we actually thought that someone from the USDA, this is a shameful thing for me, okay, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you about it. We thought that the pecans had to be inspected by someone before we could consume them. When I think back on it, that was a long time ago too, family. So we're not nice or sottish anymore. But when I think back on it, I'm like, who the heck would we take them to? And why do we need their approval to tell us if our pecans are okay to eat? But that's what happens when your mind is controlled by people who control society. But when you begin to wake up and realize and understand that you yourself don't have to depend on anyone outside of you, if you know what to do, if you know how to research, if you know how to put your hands in the soil, if you know how to, if you can't survive, but at least learn how to survive or seek that knowledge, you will begin to need people outside of you less and less. But when you've grown a total dependency where everything you eat and drink has to meet their approval, that's a bad place to be in. And so because they know that this is how they have shaped our minds and how they have formed our minds, they will come to us and ask us something or put it to us in a way to where it seems like they're doing us a favor. They'll say, look, I'll clear those trees for you. We didn't ask. We didn't put no sign out there saying, can anybody cut these trees down? But you asked because you thought you were dealing with someone that was sottish. Someone who would say, oh, sure, massa, please, I'd be happy for you to cut the hickory down for us. Listen, family, y'all going to have to understand, anyone who has followed this channel for any length of time knows that Deborah is going to come from many different angles. I am not just going to give you news. I'm not just going to give you gardening information. Sometimes I'm going to bring some humor to it because that's just me. When I think about these things, I say to myself, these people are something else. They are really something else. But that hickory is going to stay right where it is. Ain't nobody chopping it down unless we ask them to, so that we can make use of the hickory. But you're not going to chop it down so you can drag it out of here and you make use of it. That's just the way it's going to be around here. Kind of makes me think about my son Elijah too. He's a chip off the old block from his mommy and his daddy. Both of us. He gets a lot from both of us. The part that he gets from me more so, my husband, he's a lot more laid back than I am. You have to push a whole lot of buttons to get him there. But for me, and I'm not saying this because I'm proud of it or anything, but I grew up shy. And when you grow up shy and you get to the point where you don't want people running over you anymore, your whole persona changes, right? And so as I got older, I got to that point. And so I feel like my son Eli has gotten a lot of that. He has a supervisor that, is a young Gentile male, white male, and one of his supervisors. And Eli has this no-nonsense attitude too. He's like, you're going to respect me, right? And so he had a supervisor that was getting beside himself. And Elias stepped to him. He said, look, I'm a grown man and you're going to treat me as such. He said, you ain't nothing but a dude on a tug. And the only thing that separates you from me is 30 cents an hour. And I had to laugh when he told us this. because I said he sounds just like his mommy. He sounds just like me. I've had incidents like that in the past where I've had jobs and I've had to put supervisors in their place in a professional way. He didn't start threatening the man or cursing him out or yelling. He just said, "Look, I'm a grown man, and you ain't making too much more than me, so you're going to respect me." And as a matter of fact, he said it like this too. He said, "The same way you treat," I forget the other white guy's name, but I'm just going to assign the name Billy and Brad. He said, "The same way you treat Billy and Brad, that's how you're going to treat me." And he said the guy's red, face flushed all red, and he got the respect that he demanded. Now, of course, mommy and poppy, we both tell him to be careful in terms of how he deals with them, because he had said something. There was an incident that happened with his car. Okay, we want him to stand up for himself, but we explained to him that they are not always righteous in their thinking, and when little strange things start happening to your vehicle, key marks. He had a nail that was in from the side, not something that he rolled over, but it went in at the side. And we were like, that is very, very suspicious. And so when we say be careful, that's what we're talking about, because you have some very devilish people out here. We have experienced that when we lived in Westland, Michigan. We had a neighbor, a white neighbor, that we were very nice to. Notice I said nice. Yes, we were nice. You know what the etymology of the word nice is. All the time we lived there about 5 years. Never speaking, never cordial, always straight, mean on his face, mean look on his face. He ended up losing his job. He lived in the apartment across from ours, right? And so he lost his job. He comes knocking on our door, after all this time, not speaking to us, not smiling to us, not even acknowledging us. But he asked us if he could borrow some money. Oh, I'm down on my luck. All of a sudden, you can talk? We didn't know you could even talk. But you can talk now when you're asking for money. We were Christians at the time, and so what we did was we gave him some money. He was like, "Oh, sure, no problem, no problem." Just as nice as can be. We gave him the money. As a matter of fact, that wasn't the last time. He kept on coming back. "Oh, yeah, I still haven't found a job yet." Voice all soft and soft-spoken, and just not even a smile on his face, but just this humble puppy dog look, right? And us, can't even afford to do it ourselves. We gave him the money because we were nice Christians. So we kept, and it wasn't a whole lot. We were giving him $5, $10, $20 here and there because that was all we could afford. But we felt like that was the nice Christian thing to do. And so when this man gets back on his feet and he gets a job, he reverts back to his old self, not talking to us, not acknowledging us, not doing any of that. And so I'm pretty sure he noticed that we noticed, because when we would speak, we would get that cold, blank look all over again that we got before he lost his job. And so soon after that, we got a big, long key mark scratched on the side of our vehicle. And then shortly after that, we got a cut brake line. And so some of you will say, well, how can you prove that he did it? Prove to me that he didn't do it. He is the only one who would have wanted to do it. Okay? Because he had this very cold way about him, in which if we were wise, we would have never engaged him in the first place to even give it. We would just say, no, we don't have it, and left it at that. But that nature kicked back in. Despite how nice we were to this white man and helping him out when he was down on his luck, even though we couldn't barely afford it, despite all of that, he reverted back to his old nature when he got his job back, got back on his feet, and stopped speaking again. Now, anybody who's white and is watching this, I put this challenge out on another video, and I actually had someone respond, and I might address the response that they gave. They sent an email, but answer me this. Why is it that this white man was able to be nice to us when he was down on his luck? Not nice, okay, cordial to us when he was down on his luck, because he knew we were going to be nice. Remember the etymology of the word nice. He knew it because he knew we were Christians. And so After the fact, he decided not to be cordial, but he reverted back to his own self. I need a white person to explain that to me. What was going on in his mind? Because we weren't thugs in the street. We were Christians. Okay? The religion that was given to us by your ancestors, that's what we were. So explain to me, what was his problem? Okay? With that, I am going to end this video, and I would love to get some feedback on my question. Shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.